Friday, 15th of July 2022. Today's Skidmark is something that is very disturbing to me, and I have refrained from being very vocal about it for a long time, and here and there I have waded into that muddy waters, and the result was spectacular. We know what is going on in the social media environment, and that only certain narratives will be tolerated. But I want to talk about it today, and it is about racism in South Africa. That is a word that are being thrown around and painted on walls and painted on everything. And what really disturbs me the most is that the big drivers of that narrative are mostly people that was born around about 1985 and later. And those people, especially the blacks, they have a severe problem. And that is that they grew up in a society where their government was slowly but surely dismantling the education system and destroying it. They put a union in charge of the black education system, and from there it just went one way, downhill. It is full of corruption, and the most important thing is that education instances that existed were infested with their affirmative action appointments and cadre deployments, and one of the role players in destroying the higher education system was Blade and Zamande. Now that is a ridiculous name. You have to smile at that name, Blade, because it has been proven many times he is not the sharpest knife in the drawer. And with the racism thing, he destroyed higher education. Just think about a moment, and this is for the people born before 1985. If you went to the rural areas where big farming communities existed, it was so interesting to see that most of these farming communities, and many times singular farms, had a black school there. The farmers invested themselves in providing facilities for education of the black children of the workers on the farms. Those things were destroyed by the ANC. And if you look at the quality of the education in the black communities today, you have to be very upset. I did a Skidmark on education in South Africa and the challenges for job creation. And maybe you should go and take a look at it. I'll put the link in the description here. But now I see this tweet from Blade and Zamande. If the ANC loses power, land will return to the whites. What utter bullshit is that? They are driving this land issue, and there was many challenges that people were invited to go and lay formal criminal charges of theft against the white people that have stolen their land. And nothing happened, and that invitation was done about 6-8 years ago. If you are educated and you have insight and you look at the facts, you will know that this land issue is a politically loaded bullshit thing with which emotions are whipped up. The reality today, this morning, as we sit in South Africa, is simply this. Eskom is collapsing. Why? Because of cadre deployment. In the 80s, the Eskom board was 7 people, 6 engineers and an accountant. Go and look at that board today. Go and look at what happened to Eskom. Eskom was, first of all, the Guptas assisted the grand scale of raping that corporation. And The results is there today. Load shedding like we've never seen before, and we are sitting with a reality that Eskom is on the verge of total collapse. And then this morning, I find this in my message box, and it is a letter that Sasol has sent out to its suppliers. Now, I'm not going to read the whole thing, I'm just going to read the heading. Declaration of force majeure with respect to supply of petroleum products. Now, the use of that word force majeure is already a challenge for the IQ70s that is running riot on the social media. They passed whatever school grade they passed with a 30% pass rate. 30%. What they don't understand and don't accept and don't realize that if you pass with a 30%, there is 70% that you know nothing about. But yet they are very vocal on the social media. And some of the tweets and some of the posts is absolutely shocking. They are just pushing racism, racism, racism. Now my question to them today is, number one, can you eat racism? Number two, can racism provide electricity? The fact is, the white farmers are producing the food that these racists, eat. That is the truth. And it was white innovation that provided this country with a rock-solid electricity network. Whites, yes, there was a lot of black labor there. Of course, that's how it be. But the brains behind the development was white. And what did these racists achieve since '94? They drove the whites out of everything. Everything. There's over 200 laws on the books preventing whites from freely participating in the economy. Although it's against the Constitution, but we are just being ignored because we're a tiny minority. And unfortunately, a very important minority for the country. And what really makes me angry is if I look at my daily life and where I operate, and if I go to shopping centers and so, nowhere has a black person that is behind a till or behind a counter refused to serve me because I'm white. Nowhere. I stand at the petrol station and I talk to the guy filling my car, and we have a nice conversation and we talk about things. And he does not attack me with a hose from the fuel pump. And we laugh and we make jokes. So the people, the ordinary people on the street, they don't have issues with one another. It is militant idiots like Bladen Zamandi and Julius Malema that is fueling the racism fires, and these uneducated IQ70 followers, their warriors, they are fueling the fires. And they are destroying the country. They burn buildings down. They break infrastructure. They do it. White people don't destroy infrastructure. And what I cannot understand is that these racists, these black racists, yes, black racists, they have not realized that the white people are true South Africans only concerned with making South Africa successful, creating activity in the economy, providing jobs, helping in training people, doing skills transfer. But that is always painted with a racism brush. I see a lot of black voices on social media that is now coming out and clearly attacking these racists. And to me, that is something that gives me hope. But on this day, this Friday, with a weekend in front of us of darkness, and now it looks like we will be out of fuel, if we look at this one tweet, "Oh no, I can't boil my kettle. Better give the ANC emergency unlimited power to suspend every individual freedom while they don't fix what they broke in the first place." That says a lot. And it is sad that our country came to this. We are sitting in a world that is changing rapidly. We are moving into a multipolar world. We are part of the BRICS operation. If our country was functioning properly, as it functioned before 1994, we could have now exploited all those advantages and opportunities that the new era is bringing to us. We could have participated and made our country grow. But no. Racism is what they push. And what can we do? We can just sit and look. Our power structure is destroyed. Now it seems our fuel structures are destroyed. Our roads are destroyed. And our rail links are destroyed. So we can only sit and see how this new world that is developing is also going to float past our shores.